Good. It is springtime, and I was just reading some literature on the Buddha, and it said that he sat under the Bodhi tree on the first full moon of spring. Tonight is the first full moon of spring, so it is an anniversary of the Buddha's enlightenment. And I'm not a practicing Buddhist, but I like to get the teachings from everywhere. And the quote that is said to come from the Buddha, one of the many quotes saved from him, is this: Noble ones, remember who you are. I love that. Noble ones, remember who you are. And that's our theme today, to remember who we are. So, that being said, you can sit and close your eyes if you're not already there. On this first full moon of spring, as we enter the season of moving, getting things moving. We're going to get the body moving this morning with some asana practice in a few minutes, but also getting the spirit moving, the mind. As you sit here and breathe consciously in and out through your nose, just sit with what is. Acceptance of yourself in this moment. So the idea of spring and springing forward, the sap running in the trees more readily, letting go the stagnancy of the winter months. The streams start flowing more fully because of the melted snow. And you find yourself right here in this moment, breathing in this body, just as you are. So spring forth into this moment, not stepping into some future moment and how it's going to be. Be with yourself how you are right now, not needing to change anything, but breathe awareness. Physically, how's your body doing this morning? Mentally, where's your mind at? Where is it racing to or from? And spiritually, are you feeling connected to a bigger energy that fuels each and every one of us, that quickens at this time of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, waking up the earth and ourselves once again? Please bring your palms to meet to heart center into Anjali mudra. We'll open our practice, our time together with one Om if you wish. Draw a breath in. Namaste. You release your hands and please start up in a standing position today. Come into mountain pose. Look down to your feet and eyeball that you have about 2 fist distance between the balls of your feet. Look at your toes. Make sure your feet are on the same plane. One's not in front of the other. And then lift all your toes up joyously. It's spring. It's spring. Look at your feet and try spreading the pinky toe wider. Keep it in the air though. Spread your ring toe away from the middle toe and the middle toe away from the second toe and second toe away from the big toe. But push down your big toe ball mounds. Keep the toes up. Press the big toe ball mounds and your outer heels. Feel that engage through your legs. Lower your toes and press the pinky side and inner heel so you have four corners reaching together. Raise both arms up and overhead. Have your palms as wide as your shoulders so your wrists are straight up from the outside of your shoulders. And with the palms facing in, turn your pinky fingers down and reach your thumb tips higher, chin to chest. Reach your thumb tips up as the pinkies fold down and your chin drops down. Come to middle and tip the other way. Have the thumbs tip back, palms still face in, and reach the pinkies higher as you lift your chin up. Not dropping the head back effortlessly. Keep some engagement through the back of your neck. The back of the neck's long. Chin is up. And now find where middle is. Where's the center in between where your pinkies and thumbs are reaching equally? The pushing down through your legs. Remember the four corners that we grounded at the very beginning. Push into the floor. Stretch up along your sides. And release your arms. Let them float down to your sides. Take a moment and just feel the efforts of your action, the shift of your energy through your arms. Already feeling that sense of aliveness. Just like the sap is coming up the trees this time of year, we're going to get some sap moving on our inner body today as well. So step forward to the front end of your mat if you're not already there in Tadasana. Actually, Samasatihi, you can bring your palms to meet together in front of your heart. Raise your arms wide and high, lean open as you look up, and take it forward into Uttanasana. Staying in Uttanasana. So some of you might need blocks underneath your hands, and that's perfectly fine. Bring the floor to meet you. But meet yourself where you're at. Check out your feet. Are they still 2 fist distance wide? Can you lift your toes up here? Spread your toes, the pinky toe especially. And then rest your toes down without gripping your toes. Root your big toe ball mound, your outer heel, pinky side ball mound, inner heel, and feel how that engages up your legs. Look up, lift your torso for a half bend, and then fold back in. Drop your head and stay forward, either holding to the floor or grabbing for the backs of your legs. Cross your right hand to the outside of your left calf. You can have your left hand on the floor or on blocks. Straighten your right elbow and lift like a half bend again. Bend your right elbow, diagonally draw your nose to your left knee. Notice that your right hip will want to come forward and turn with you, but tack your right hip crease back. Bend your elbow, lengthen along your right side body, and breathe. Release that side and hold the meaty part of your calf with your left hand. Straighten your left elbow, look up, lift your chin up, and fold. Bow forehead towards your right knee this time. You can stay on your finger pads, bend your right elbow if you have room to, and breathe. Tack your left hip back, bend your elbow more to draw yourself across. Release the pose, both hands to the floor. Step your right leg back into a lunge. And then pivot your right heel to the floor and turn out to face the long edge of your mat. Check out your feet, that they're in line, in one plane, toes in line with one another. Your heels can be wider. So turn your toes in and the heels wide. And then line your wrists right underneath your shoulders so you're like in a table pose, and bend your knees a little bit so you're squatting. Little bend of the knees. Lift your toes up. Squeeze your heels in together. And when your heels squeeze in together, can you feel that rise right up to your inner thighs? That's what we want. Keep that engagement while you spin your inner thighs back and apart, and then try to push your legs straighter. Hinge at your hips, bend your elbows, and drop your head toward the floor in this wide-legged forward fold. You can keep your hands beneath you. A deeper version is to walk your hands through your legs, fingertips point back, and fold in that way with straight arms. Walk back out again and turn toward your left leg. So just like we started in a lunge, pivot back again and step your feet together. Forward fold and stay there. Grab behind your calves this time. Bend your elbows and draw your chest toward your thighs. Drop your head and breathe. Touch the floor with your hands. And again, pivot your right foot. Step the right foot back to pivot your heel down. This time you're going to line your left heel with your right arch. Rest your left forearm onto your left thigh and right hand to your hip. Turn out to the side wall here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and sink your hips deeper, sink down. Then raise your toes and squeeze your legs together. Bring your torso forward between your two legs as you stick your hips back. And it's okay if you have knee stuff, bend the knee a little bit and really stick your hips back. Scoop under strong with your left side buttock. Straighten the back knee, push into your legs, up through your spine and out through your extended arm. Let the top arm reach in line with your ear for Parsvakonasana. Look down, release onto your back toes into a lunge, and then plank pose from there. Lower on your belly. Breathe into a cobra or back bend. Breathe out, down, downward dog, Uttanasana. So spring is represented by earth, right? Everyone thinks of the smell of earth in springtime. Everything's wet. Water and earth are the elements of kapha. In the Ayurvedic tradition, spring is kapha. And it's represented by excess and mucus and phlegm. That starts dripping in the spring too. Step your right foot forward between your hands and pivot your back heel down. Line your front heel with the back arch and rest your forearm onto your thigh as you come into this basic form of the pose. So looking down, you want to make sure your front knee is directly over your front ankle. Maybe you can step your back leg back a little bit to widen the legs apart. Engage your legs by lifting up your toes, squeeze your feet together. Inner thighs spin back and widen as you lean forward. Scoop the hip under on the front leg so your knee stays over your ankle. Don't move your legs, but lean your upper body, your shoulders back, and then extend through the top arm. Keep breathing. Push into your legs and out through the length of your spine. You might even peek up underneath your extended arm here. And release, hands to the floor, step into a plank pose, lower knees up or down onto your abdomen, back bend, and downward facing dog. Raise your left leg behind you and pull the knee forward into your chest in plank pose, pause, and then step that foot forward into a lunge. Pivot your back heel down, lining up your feet again, this time warrior two pose, rising up, and full exaltation. So we want to get moving in the spring. It's the natural, that's why spring cleaning happens, right? We get out of a hibernation of the winter, the dryness of the winter, we get the sap moving, and we want to do more. We want to be out more. It's natural to go with the seasons. Take one more breath here. And straightening your front leg. Extend the arm long like you're going out over a countertop. Bring your bottom hand to a block behind your front leg or onto the floor. And line your top wrist over the bottom wrist for Trikonasana, triangle pose. It's the same actions here. It's a deep breath in and out to settle. Engage your legs and squeeze your 2 feet together. Stick your hips back behind you. Scoop under stronger with the front hip and buttock. And then push into the floor. Push into your legs through your bottom fingertips. Reach up through the top. Release into a bent knee. Pivot to your front leg and into a lunge. Fly your left leg to the ceiling in three-legged dog and land back into your downward facing dog. And then switch your sides. Raise your right leg high. Take it forward to your chest in plank and step the foot up. Pivot through your back heel. Look down to your foundation. Make sure you're in alignment and then lift up. So being where you're at means taking care of yourself in each and every moment. I'm one that tends to have my big toe into the future all the time when that happens. And it's really a practice to stay with what is right now. So feel your body right now. Yoga is really good for checking in with what's happening right now, especially when your thighs start burning. You're like, oh yeah, this is happening. Imagine you have a friend grabbing your back wrist and they're saying, whoa, don't go so far in the future. Back up a bit. But bend into your front knee and see if you can sit even a little bit deeper. Having the courage to look and feel and challenge yourself. Push into your front leg to straighten and then lean towards your front leg as far over as you can lean. Pivot your hands, one down and one up. It's okay to touch your shin, but you're not going to be as balanced as if you had your hand on the floor or a block. Push into your legs. Lengthen through your spine and stretch out through both arms. Release by bending into your front knee. Pivot into a lunge. Fly your right leg back up to the ceiling in three-legged dog and landing in downward dog. Catch your breath and fly your left leg high again. Pull your knee forward, step forward, and take a lunge here. So in lunge, your feet are not one in front of the other. Look down, make sure that's the case. Your back foot they're hip width apart still, just like they would be in mountain pose. Balance on your fingertips or have blocks underneath your hands. Take in a breath and let your hips sink down, and then squeeze your 2 feet together. Squeeze your feet together consistently. Lift your back thigh and push out through your legs, out through your spine. Push through your back heel and drop your back knee lower. Lift your upper body and interlace on your front thigh. And as you exhale, see if you can sink your hips down, sink hips closer to the floor, but push your hands into your thigh and lift along your side body, shoulders back and ears back. Now turn to a twist. Your right elbow crosses to your left leg, palm to palm. Try turning your fingertips into your palm. Push your leg into your arm and your arm into your leg and twist deep inside. So twists are great for spring too, right? Cleansing all your internal organs. But breathe here. Make sure your eyes are soft, your jaw's relaxed. You're not creating further tension. The idea is to hang out, get unstuck. Let the sap start moving throughout your whole body, and that's your breath, is your sap. But get your breath consciously moving, and whatever happens, you just show up to whatever it is. Release this pose, hands to either side of your front leg, and step back, 3-legged dog, downward facing dog. Try the other side. Lift through the right leg, pull your right knee forward to your chest, and step up into a lunge. Check out your feet are not one in front of the other. That's very common. Make sure you have space between your 2 feet. And then engage your legs. Squeeze the feet together. Lift your thigh up higher, 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 higher. Keep it up, but try to sink down your front thigh. Lift the back thigh and settle the front thigh. Push your front knee forward and your back heel back. And stretch the crown of your head forward in this lunge. Push your back heel back as the knee lowers, right? Hips toward the floor, interlace on your front thigh. So getting grounded, your back toes are tucked. That will help with your balance. Scissor your 2 feet toward one another, your 2 legs together, and then push them apart. Take a twist with your left elbow feeding to the outside of your right leg, palm to palm. Turn your fingertips in so the heels of the hands are away, and press your leg into your arm bone back into your leg, and feel the turn from your left side waist. Hips stay heavy. You're sinking the hips down, but as you press your palms, maybe you feel your spine lift up. You're like a little bud, a dandelion bud rising out of the ground. Look down and release the pose. Step back into 3-legged dog and downward facing dog. Keep it moving with the left leg, 3-legged dog. Hug your knee in and plank. Step up between your hands. You can be in lunge or drop your back knee, or take warrior 1 where you step your back leg in closer and aim your back toes to the front right corner of your mat. Keep your front knee over your ankle as you rise up there. Virabhadrasana 1 now. Your hips are squared to the front wall, to the front of your mat. Raise your arms up and overhead. Interlace your hands behind your back to go a step further. Hinge from your hips and bow your head to the inside of your front knee. Getting unstuck means staying calm in uncomfortable situations. As you exhale, can you soften deeper? Drop your head closer to the floor. Release this pose and fly your left leg to the ceiling And then down dog. Adjust your feet so you're in a nice lengthy downward facing dog. And bring your right leg forward. First high behind. Hug the knee in. Use your abdominals to help step that leg forward. Step your back leg in to pivot your heel down. Back toes face front. Get your right thumb in your right hip crease this time before you come up. Really tack your right hip crease back and down. And keep your thumb there as you lift your torso. Place your left hand palm on your low belly and lift the muscles of the low belly up. So here your stop is rising all the way up through your straight arms overhead, palms face in. Stay here or find the hands to interlace behind you. You can stay there or hinge from your hips. Still tacking your right hip crease back and down. Pushing into both legs, feet folding even deeper. Release this side and step forward this time into Uttanasana once again. Have your feet a little bit wider so they're maybe as wide as your shoulders now. Grab your elbows or fold your arms, bow your head between your two arms and hang. Do 3 breaths here where you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Make a soft on the exhale. 3 breaths. Release your arms back down. Walk your feet in closer so they're 2 fist distance once again. And step your right leg to a lunge. Stay on your back toes. So we're going to move to a Ardha Chandrasana, a half moon pose from here. It's likely you'll want to block underneath your left hand. Your left fingertips come diagonally forward from your front foot. So diagonally forward from the pinky side of your foot. Have both hands on the floor to begin. Raise your back leg off of the floor, flex your foot, and turn your toes out to the sidewall. Push into your standing leg. Try to straighten both legs and turn, but draw your elbow back, your shoulder back. Maybe you can reach your arm to the sky. If you just have sky above you, it'll be hard to find a drishti, but if you have a ceiling, maybe you can gaze at a point on the ceiling. Release slowly back into your lunge. Step forward and hang forward, whether you want to keep your arms dangling or you want to grab your elbows again. We're going to take 3 breaths between your 2 sides. Remember who you are underneath all the mind stuff, beyond all this body stuff. Noble ones, remember who you are. Lead your left leg back, starting in a lunge. Place the block under your right hand or open your right fingertips diagonally forward from your right foot. Lift the back leg and turn your toes to the side. You stack your 2 hips. Push into your standing leg to straighten your knee. Start with your hand up at your waist. Push into the floor. Push into your bottom arm and raise the top arm as an option. Keep your gaze down to the side or turn your gaze up. Look down as you exit back into a lunge. Step the back foot forward Uttanasana, standing forward bend once again. Right leg steps back and pivot your heel down. So it's the same stance for warrior one. You want your back toes diagonally pointing forward to the front right corner of your mat. And then push your left leg straight. Balance your fingertips underneath your shoulders or be on blocks. Lift both toes on both feet and squeeze your 2 feet together. Pull your right inner thigh to the right and your left inner thigh to the left. Tack your left hip crease back and down. And then push into both legs, out through your spine, forward fold over your front leg. You can keep your hands or blocks under your shoulders or walk your hands, fingertips point back and bow in a little bit deeper. Release your pose, bend into your front knees, step up, Uttanasana, 3 breaths. Try the other side. Left leg back. Pivot your heel down. Push into your front leg to straighten. Engage your 2 legs, squeeze into the middle, square your hips. Widen your thighs respectively out to each side wall. And then tack your right hip crease more back. As you push into your legs, lengthen your spine and fold. Each side is different. Notice your 2 sides. You're not expected to be symmetrical. Be curious, deepen your breath. Let your breath, the sap, move you. Your breath is really what's opening up the stagnation. Slow release, bend into your front knee, step forward, and pause again. Feel your 2 sides. You should be feeling those hamstrings pretty readily right about now. We're going to try the same pose, a little different actually, but the same stance. So bring your right leg back, pivot your heel down, straighten your front leg. Have a block to the inside of your front foot or ankle, unless you can touch the floor. Get your left thumb into your left hip crease and tack it back towards your back heel, right? Both legs are straight. If you can pop your fingertips or block to the outside of your front foot, twisting to the left in rotated triangle. Push into your legs to straighten, push into your arms, turn from your left side waist. Let your eyes be soft. If your eyes are hard, you need to back off. Deepen your breath. Slow coming out. Turn to the floor, bend into your front knee, and step your 2 feet together. Uttanasana again. One more to the left side. Step your left leg back, pivot your heel, push the front leg straighter. If this is where you need to stay, you can just stay in Parsvottanasana. Or with your right hand, right thumb to your hip crease, tack that hip back, turn from your left waist. Keep your back heel rooting. So that's a common misalignment. The back heel will want to lift up. Really push into both legs. Turn and rotate your top arm to the ceiling in a fuller version. Can you do Ujjayi breath wherever you are? Release your pose. Come back to center. Step your feet together. Once again, forward fold. Open your arms and wide, reach up high, palms meet. Lower your hands to heart center, anjali, mudra, hands to your heart, close your eyes. And feel. Should feel pretty warm by now. We're mostly right in the meat of the practice. Check out your feet. Are they 2 fist distance wide? So pay attention. Lifting your toes is drawing the sap up your legs. You're pulling actually earth energy up the length of your legs to your pelvic floor. The pelvic floor lifts up. Let your toes rest lightly and shift your weight so you're leaning into your right leg as you bend your left knee out to the side for tree. So some will want to keep their heel on their calf. Others might be able to get their toes above their knee, but please do avoid the knee at all costs. Palms meet to heart center. And then choose an arm movement, maybe straight arms up from your shoulders, maybe cactus arms out. Maybe you want to interlace your hands behind your back even. Eyes are soft, breath is deep. Those of you who want a little more challenge, bend your standing leg a little bit and take the creases of your thighs more back so your hips stick back. Scoop under stronger on your left side buttock. Tuck under that knee, open the knee back. Push your standing leg straighter, lift up through your spine, the crown of your head. Tree pose. Reawakening from the dormancy of the winter. Bring the knee to the front plane, swing it forward, land down with your arms to your sides, stand evenly planted on both feet. So sometimes when there's a lot of rain in spring, we can slip, right? You can slip on the mud. So get yourself well planted, really grow nice strong roots. Yoga grows a strong physical body. It grows a strong mental, emotional body because we're really able to sustain more as a result of our practice. So move to the other side. If you haven't, heel to the inner calf or inner thigh. You can keep palms to your heart or choose another arm position. Maybe fingers interlaced, palms press up. It's another way to go. If you want to practice, try lifting your toes of your standing leg. Right? The toes aren't holding you up. The big toe, ball mound, outer heel, pinky toe, ball mound, inner heel. Those 4 corners root. And then you can rise up, get long along your side body. Soften your jaw, soften your eyes, even as you concentrate. Open your bent knee behind you. Be willing to waver. We have to be able to waver. We want to be flexible. Accept things as they are right now. Even if you lose your balance, nothing to feel bad about. We all lose balance sometimes. Like, how do we handle that with grace? Make your way back into Tadasana one more time. And then what's often called jackknife position. If you stand on your right side leg again, bend your left in front. And bring your hands to interlace in front of your knee, pulling the knee in close to your chest. So what will often happen here, the most common misalignment, is the hips tend to kind of thrust forward, thrusting the thighs forward. Bring your bum back, your thighs back, and scoop under more strong on the bent knee, buttocks. Tuck that under, that hip crease tacks down. Push into your standing leg, up through your spine, draw your shoulders back, your ears back. If you can, cross your wrists and grab the inner and outside of your foot, and then try pushing the foot forward to straighten your front leg. If you're doing that, try rebending the knee between your two arms, and then everybody releasing the pose to mountain pose once again. Try the other side. Bend your right knee, interlace. You might even want to thrust your hips forward again. Your shoulders will lean back, and then go opposite of that. Another way to do it is to bend your standing leg, take the standing leg hip crease back, scoop under stronger on the bent knee side of the buttock, bend your elbows, draw your shoulders back, your ears back, and push your standing leg straighter. Stay here. If working that's enough for you, stay with it. If you want to go deeper, try the crossing your wrists in front, hold the bottom of your foot, and you're pushing, actually your big toe ball mound pushes out into your hand to get the leg to go straighter. Even here, the thighs tend to thrust forward. Make sure that's not the case. Stand up as tall as you can. Rebend and release. Woo! So, just for your information, we've been doing level 1 syllabus of Anusara Yoga today. Right at the top of the poster we have, these are all the first few rows of level 1. So basic poses, but they definitely get that sap moving in the body. We're going to try similar but different. Stand on your right leg, bend your left knee, and this time you hold on to the front of the knee with your left hand. So left hand on left knee. That's one pose. Or slide your hand from the inside of the knee down and grab for the pinky side of your foot. That's 2. Try to stand up as tall as you can from there. And then open your right arm to the right and push your left foot out to the left. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana, the extended hand to foot pose. Make your way back to middle and land in mountain pose once again. Take a nice deep breath in and out. So in knowing what's to come, we just step into this next moment. So find your foundation and ground yourself. Lighten up on your right knee this time. Hold on with your right hand. It's perfectly fine to stay there. You could also interlace underneath the thigh as a different option, or from the inside of the knee, cross to the pinky side and stand up taller. Open your left arm. Keep your eyes on that one point that's not moving, and then push your foot out into your hands in this extended balance. Come back slowly, bend the knee, land your leg and arm, and breathe once again. Face the narrow edge of your mat and come onto your hands and knees right from here and into a child pose. Knees apart, toes together. Rest your forehead to your mat or on your fists or on your hands and breathe. So with effort, we don't come unstuck without effort. It takes a certain amount of willfulness for us. The anniversary of the Buddha's enlightenment is today. Each of us has the opportunity to wake up. Each moment is an awakening. You're in the exact right place you need to be right now. Use your hands to lift you and swing your legs around to the front in Dandasana. So it's fine and actually encouraged to sit onto a small blanket or pillow to raise your hips up, especially if you're feeling it in the hamstrings. We've done a lot of stretches, but everybody's body's different. So support yourself so you're not over efforting, because your body's not going to open if you strive or try too hard. Get your heel of your hand, the bottom of your hand, to the top of your hip crease where the leg meets, and then push down, push the thighs down, and think of the back of the thighs settling toward the floor. They'll want to pop up, try to soften down. Think of the softness of the rich spring soil from all the April showers. Push into your legs, lift up through your side body, shoulders back and ears back. You can stay here or straighten your arms in line with your ears, palms face in. And release, lower your arms down. We're going to switch from here, bend your knees, and it's not for everybody. I'm still rehabilitating my knees, but if you can sit onto your heels or thereabouts in Virasana. So the knees stay together. If you need to open your feet apart and put a block between your heels, that's one way to do it. Knees are together, maybe sitting up onto your heels. That's Virasana, the thunderbolt. Let your upper body be as upright as possible as you close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Release your pose. And from a table pose, or from down dog if you so choose, set up for pigeon on the right side. Slide your right knee to your right wrist. Walk your foot forward and your back leg back behind. Stay on your hands or lower onto your elbows, your forearms, or just straight arms. Come back slowly up onto your hands. And know you can slide to a table pose or you can lift into three-legged dog. Transition to the left side for pigeon. Bring your knee as far left as it can go, maybe even wider than your left wrist. Let the foot walk forward. Your back leg walks back so the knees are wide. Stay on your hands or your forearms or your straight arms. Hinge from your hips as you fold forward. So I keep the back toes tucked with the knee down. That keeps the leg engaged. The heel to the ceiling. Your back heel will tend to wag out to the right side, so you kind of hug it into the middle of your mat a bit. Pull your two knees in toward one another as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, push the heels or knees apart. out away from one another. Just as you are. So we're stepping into more of ourselves, more activity, perhaps more movement, but being present to what is. It's not about that next moment. I keep reminding myself over and over. It's not when I get there or when that thing happens. It's right now. Use your hands to lift you and roll off your left side hip. Turn towards your extended right leg and set up for Jnana Shirshasana. That's bringing your left leg or left foot to the inside of the right thigh. You might even try to get your two knees as wide apart as you can. So for everybody, that's different. We're going to turn toward the straight leg, toward the right leg, with your hands to either side of your front foot, the right leg, or onto blocks. And use your hands to push into the floor. Turn your upper body toward your extended leg. Exhale and hinge. You might walk your hands out, bend your elbows, soften your eyes. Pull it at your navel. We call it Uddiyana Bandha, the navel lock, to support your low back as you rise up. So pulling in at your navel helps support your low back. Switch your legs out and turn to the other side. Face your extended leg with your fingertips on either side. Push into your fingertips and hopefully you'll feel that ground your hips. And bend forward from your waist, hinge forward from your hips. So you come over with a straight spine, second toes pointing up to the ceiling on your extended leg. You could cross your right hand to the outside of your left leg to help turn your torso more and breathe. Pull in at your navel to support your back and rise up straight and strong. And try the first side again. I'm opposite you here, but your right leg is long and the left leg is bent. Second toes of the right foot point up. Turn your palm face up inside your right leg this time and the left arm to the ceiling. Taking a breath and slide down the inside of your front leg, pushing your leg and arm into one another. Twist at your waist and peek up underneath your extended arm. If it's hard to breathe, that means you've gone too far. If you're holding tension in your face, back off. Try to hold a place you can breathe and soften into, not force things into place. Push down into your legs as you lift up through middle. Switch your legs. Havriti Jana Shirshasana. So it's a rotated, turning. It's a side stretch. Your palm faces up inside the leg, the back of the hands on the floor. And as you slide, the arm slides to the inside of your leg. So your elbow maybe is to the inside of your leg. Push the leg bone into your arm bone and the arm bone back into your leg bone. And see if you can feel that turn you from deep inside. We're changing seasons. And we're sometimes affected in ways that we don't even recognize. Just like we're affected by the full moon, this worm moon, as it's called tonight. I think it's welcoming the worms back into the soil again. Soften as you exhale. 2 more breaths here. Soften like that spring earth softening. Let go of the stagnation or the tightness of the winter. And then root to rise. Push into the floor. Lift yourself up. And as you come middle, come into Sukhasana, crossing. So 2 ideas. You can either cross in the middle of your shins, which is going to make your knees closer together. Or if you want to open wider the knees, you can cross your ankles one in front of the other. I'm choosing the shins today. So cross at the middle of the shins or put one ankle in front of the other and see if you can sit that way. Make your choice. And have your palms face up on your lap. Close your eyes. See if you can rock more to the back of your sitting bones, ever so slightly. Try drawing your shoulders over your hips and your ears over your shoulders. And just even that, see how that alters your breath. With your palms up, you can touch your index and thumb tips together on each hand and extend the other 3, other 3 fingers long. All the movement that we did, all that springing forth for the physical body, see if you feel any subtle vibrations left by all the movement. Maybe you feel it in certain muscle groups. Maybe it's throughout the whole of your body. We're going to do a 4 count breath, inhaling to the count of 4, holding for the count of 4, exhaling to the count of 4, holding out to the count of 4. Find your way. Counting 4 on the inhale, on the hold. Count 4 as you exhale and as you hold. The Buddha was sitting under the Bodhi tree. He sat under the Bodhi tree. I believe it was 40 days and 40 nights. Keeping your breath. If you prefer to stay here in the meditation, keep going, or very wisely and mindfully bring yourself to your backs for Shavasana. Allow yourself to settle. Hey, I remember you. Do you remember too? Whoa, 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 I remember you. Do you remember too? Whoa. As you're resting here these last few moments, taking the words of this poem by Dana Faulds. It's enough to offer love, no matter how imperfectly received or given. It's enough to try and fail at a difficult task. Enough to rise and fall and rise and stumble and fall again, sigh and start to walk, however slowly, in the direction that the soul points. It's enough to seek peace and find pain, to gain nothing but a vision of truth and take the long route home. It's enough to feel temptation, the dance of the senses, the hot pull of desire. Enough to call on God, walk through fire, sleep and cry, and fear or welcome dying. It's enough to be and breathe, to feel the touch of wind on skin. It's enough to take the day as it comes, to watch the ripples on the lake as the rock sinks to the bottom, to see the wild reflection of the surface calm into a mirror once again. It's enough to hear the voice of fear and hide, or seek it out and face the shame or shadows. It's enough to set out to tame demons and watch them multiply instead. It's enough to be buffeted by the winds of change and not blown over. I and you and all of us, more than enough. Make your way back to deeper breath and a little movement as you're ready, wiggling your toes, your fingers, stretching your arms and your legs. You might roll off to one side for a couple of breaths of transition. And then once again, come to a seated position, a cross-legged seat, or any way that works for you to close your eyes. Close your eyes, being as you are, feeling what you feel. Have room for all of it. Give yourself space. Nothing should be different. We are enough, just as we are, however imperfectly we show up. Enough. Have your palms meet to your heart center in Anjali mudra. And on this auspicious day, we can acknowledge one another. Namaste. Thank you, friends. Have a beautiful day.